we'll do, so this meeting is called to order. We'll go ahead and do our roll call.
Johnson is absent with notice. Whiteford? I'm here. Markham?
Here.
Miller is absent with notice. Rahman?
Present.
Long?
Here.
Spitz is absent with notice. Smith Charles?
Present.
You have quorum.
Bye. Let us stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. That takes us to item 4 on the agenda, which is to approve the minutes.
All of them.
Moved by Markham, supported by Long. Any discussion, changes or updates? Seeing none, we can prompt or
Go ahead. So.
we can, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed by the same sign? None opposed. That motion to approve the minutes carries. Item 5 is the approval of the agenda.
Move it.
Moved by Long, supported by Dr. Ajay Rahman. And any changes or additions, hopefully not additions, but any changes to the order of the agenda? Seeing none, we can prompt a voice. Let's all in favor by the sign of aye.
Aye.
Opposed by the same? Hearing none, that motion to approve the agenda carries. Next is item 6, public comment. Is there anyone here from the public who'd like to speak on items on the agenda for 3 minutes per speaker? And I don't see anyone from the public looking to speak today, so I will close this first public comment. Next is item 7, which is communications. We have Economic Development Airport Committee, July 10th, 2024 minutes, the Economic Development Oakland Thrive Business Forward Initiative monthly report, and the Economic Development Skilled and Educated Workforce quarterly report.
I'll move A through C.
A through C to receive and file.
Receive and file, yeah.
Supported by Commissioner Rahman. Any questions or thoughts, discussions on any of these? I don't see any indication of that, so we can prompt the vote to receive and file the communications.
Worked.
Did you pop up?
Yeah. Oh,
Amanda.
Mine popped up and that was in the agenda.
You have 5 yeas, 0 nays.
All right, that motion
That's a good sign. Things are
carries.
working.
80%.
yeah.
Right.
Now that you
Don't
said
jinx
that. I know, now that you said that, Gwen.
I know.
We'll not get the prompt the
And I
next
believe
time.
that takes us to item 8, the meat of our agenda today. Regular agenda item 8A. I'll accept a motion to recommend to the board facilities management, MDOT easements, and consent to grade along Woodward Avenue for the wide track redesign in downtown Pontiac. Moved by Commissioner Rahman and supported by Commissioner Whiteford. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
I got 2 out of the 3 names in my mind, so please, just for the good order, introduce yourselves.
Yeah, well, I first have to say the last time I saw a lot of you was out at South Line pickleball courts.
Yeah.
That's
I have
right.
to say it, sorry. Yeah, Paul Zakos, I'm the property manager with facilities, and Brett Brasgen with economic development. Brett will give some background on the whole process that's been a long time coming for this. And then this is Andrew Ketchum, he's with Aegis, and they are consultants. He's a right-of-way agent, he's the consultant for MDOT.
Great.
So he's the one that originally contacted our office and said that MDOT is requesting easements. So first of all, let me just turn over to Brett so you can get the background on where things had come, and you probably already know a lot of this, but we'll at least get some of that background out so we know, and then I'll take over with the specifics of what they're asking.
I'll be brief, but I have to tell a little story. This is probably the coolest agenda item that I've ever been in front of this board about. And I say that because in 2010, the county, along with the city of Pontiac, applied for a federal grant to study the conversion of the loop from one-way to two-way traffic. We received the grant. It was a $300,000 grant. Parsons Brinkerhoff was the firm. And we worked with the city and developed the plan, completed the study in 2014. And ever since that time, whenever I'm in Pontiac at a public meeting, the businesses or the residents or the nonprofits always ask me, Brett, when is that loop going to be built? When is it going to be built? And now I can tell them it will. It will be built in 2025 and 2026. It's a really important project. It'll reduce the loop as a barrier to the residents of Pontiac, either walking or biking to the town. It'll help us as county employees when we're there. It'll improve the vehicular and the pedestrian environment. Our goals and the state's goals align with this in doing what we can to improve the physical and the economic environment in the downtown and the city. And I talked to Deputy Executive Carlson about this, and we feel that it is important to waive the approximately $32,000 in good faith money, just as a gesture of our partnership and alignment with the state to support this project in downtown. But it's great. It's cool to see it built. For me, it started 14 years ago, and
You gotta see it done, right?
yes. With that, I'll turn it to Paul for details on the easements.
So now the county obviously owns a property in downtown Pontiac, and since we are the owner, the project engineering requires basically three types of granting of property rights. One is an easement. They're going to be widening it on certain areas of Woodward, widening the road and the right-of-way, so that is one thing. Number two, something called consent of grade, so beyond the easement, it would be a kind of a temporary easement. It's considered for construction. So we're granting the state's contractors, when they get there, that area to use as the land during construction. And number three is consent to rebuild sidewalks throughout that process. So those are there's 4 parcels, but we're only doing 3 now because the 4th came in late. And that will be a follow-up to another meeting, hopefully this year soon. Those documents are set up as easement, consent to grade, and consent to rebuild sidewalk, I'll call it. And that's the 4 parcels. So that pretty much tells you where they're at, and the sliver of land.
Is it the blue?
Is in blue.
Okay,
Yep.
that's what they need an easement for, all the
Yep.
blue? Okay.
And then the
Sorry.
light blue, I guess,
Sure.
or the turquoise, is the border of the consent to grade. So
Okay.
the consent to grade is temporary. It doesn't get recorded. The easements will get recorded, and they'll be part of the road system, the new road system as they go. So just so you know that they did a market study. They came up with a value, and that's how those numbers came to be. And then we, as Brett said, agreed to grant those for $1 as contributing. So that's pretty much it. If you have more specific questions, and I do have.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Paul. And thank you for bringing the gentleman from MDOT. I didn't quite catch your name.
Andrew.
Andrew Ketchum.
Andrew, thank you. And so as you all see in the map in your packet as well, there's 5 general parcel maps. And so just for my own education, I could have Googled this in the meantime, but I didn't. I have an understanding of grading, but what are we saying when there's an easement and a need to consent to grade, not degrade? It sounds like one word just running together, but could you just speak to that maybe 30 seconds?
Sure, that's, the easement is, the area that will be either reconstructed as, and become part of the road, or there may be utilities in there may be whatever construction in there. In order to get to that, they need more room, so they need to use the area to move equipment around or whatever. And then that will be brought back to the condition that existed prior, and that's the term or the.
Gotcha.
If it was grass, then they'll put grass back.
Back.
If there was a tree there, they may or may not
Right.
move the tree, but as far as I know, there's only 1 or 2 trees on this, on the entire parcels that were.
Okay, so second slide, for example, the green portion would be returned back to its standard use and aesthetic, and also be owned by the county. That easement, which is in the red for all of these particulars, well, maybe not red, but is what we would be giving over to the state of Michigan in perpetuity
Yes,
for life.
it's just an addition of the road right away that's already there,
Yeah.
so.
And it's for like traffic, better movement of traffic when people are slowing down and need to make a ride or something to that effect. And so I see different, if we go to the next one, I see just green here. What are we saying?
The more green, that green is the consent to grade.
Okay.
That's just a bigger area that when engineers look at what's gonna be constructed there, they kind of determine how much room they need to do the construction. So in this case, they need more room.
All right, that's fair. And then our next one here where there's blue to the left, I guess that's south based on the orientation. And then there's red and green. So just so we're all clear when folks are watching this again, for clarity.
Yeah.
Yeah, the green on the backup slides again, that's the consent either to reconstruct the sidewalk or to grade.
And then it looks like, go ahead.
Yep, and then.
Oh, okay, sure.
Can I
Right,
point to
absolutely.
something? You have to look close, but you can see the sidewalk in the thin black line, so they changed the radius of that intersection and they need to rebuild the sidewalk. So that's why that red area will now be part of the MDOT easement.
Okay.
It doesn't mean
Stay up
that
there.
it doesn't mean that the road goes right up to that line. It's typically the sidewalk. Sidewalks are in the public right of way, so that's what they need the room for.
Okay, and then like across the street
Which way?
of Auburn, going north. Yeah, why are there red X's, and is it anything to do with us to
The
your?
road's changing.
Yeah,
The county doesn't own that piece, do we?
No, that's
So
another
we're-
parcel.
Yeah, we're looking at county-owned property.
okay, I just saw it highlighted, wanted to make sure. Okay, and then full disclosure, my first impression of the $1 versus the 30 was like, just being good stewards and fiduciary responsibility of the county of Oakland. I felt we could take that money since it was already earmarked or allocated for us. I heard from one commissioner who felt the same, but I do understand the rationale about 50 million versus 30K. If someone gave me 50 million and needed and owed me 30,000 for an easement later down the road, I could probably say, let's just call it apples to apples. But I just wanted to make sure that was articulated as well. And I don't see any hands raised or anything. Yes, sir. Oh, yes, I do. I had to hit details. Commissioner Rahman, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Paul and Brett, thank you for the presentation. Brett, I think I share your excitement that I think this is a really cool project and I'm glad to see this moving forward. I want to just get some clarification here as far as the good faith and kind of the forgiveness here. can you just walk me through, because I don't know that I fully understand, is it the property and the easements that we're basically forgiving? Is there a dollar value? Is it, I just wanna make sure that I understand what we're talking about.
So there's a calculation done for the square footage of an easement area
Right.
for a consent area.
Right.
They did a market study, and the market study came up with $5 a square foot. So $5 is about, a square foot is about over 200,000 an acre. So they're saying that's commercial property in Pontiac, downtown Pontiac, land
The
value.
land is worth.
Then they take a percentage of that and come down to a value based on the square footage. So that's roughly how it's calculated.
So we're basically giving that value of land away. So it's not a dollar value per se, right? We're not writing a check to anybody. We're not.
No. What the easement will have a dollar figure as a placeholder,
Okay.
granting the rights. So really, we're just granting rights
Understood.
versus granting dollars.
Okay, and that was my understanding as well. I just wanted to clarify and make sure that I fully understood that.
Mhm.
And then my next question has to do with the timeframe, not only duration of the project, but when the timeframe will coincide with the Pontiac redevelopment, with the county and kind of how all
The
that
latest
gels.
I've heard, and you may know more, I don't know with MDOT, but that they're going to rebuild M59 Huron between the loops starting in 2025, and then the entire loop will occur in 2026, and I believe to be completed within 2026. Is that?
I think there's a 3-year time frame for the whole project,
whole
start to
thing.
finish, so it might be 1 year for Huron Street,
Yeah.
and then the remainder for the loop,
So we're talking until 27 then, is that?
potentially, yeah.
Okay. And what is our time frame, if we even know, kind of what our redevelopment is for Pontiac for the county?
I can't, yeah.
I'm just curious if those two will sort of coincide or not at all, or?
Yeah, the time frame is very similar, so we're looking at like 2 to 3 years, right? As you know, we're in the beginning stages with finalizing all of our contracts with our contractors, so the whole contract, bidding, design process will take maybe close to a year, and then a year for construction. So we're hoping that, towards the end of that, we'll be ready to start moving.
Perfect, so hopefully it should all finish about the same time. I'd hate for us to move our entire county over to Pontiac and then nobody can get around because the whole place is under construction or something like that. So.
You do know this is Michigan though.
Right, understood.
I just wanna make sure
As
you're-
as best we can coordinate would be
Yeah.
nice.
Every road's
I-96 being rebuilt in a 3-year program,
Yeah.
and it seems like it's been going on 100 years, so
Yeah.
Yeah,
I understand
I
the
mean,
sensitivity.
to the extent we can, I guess, is what I'm saying, right?
Understood.
It would just be nice if it all gels together, so. Perfect, thank you, Madam Chair.
You're welcome. Thank you for the questions too. And yes, Commissioner Markham.
I did not punch in, but.
Okay.
So my question relates to M59. If I'm coming off I-75 and I wanna come here, right? And I wanna come down M59, I gotta make that little cutoff in downtown Pontiac, behind a building, and you know what I'm talking about.
To avoid the loop.
To avoid the loop, right. So if I'm coming off I-75 and I wanna get to downtown Pontiac, I gotta make that little jog. I'm just wondering if there's any plans to fix that.
Yeah, I think they made that last section two-way, that last stub of 59 on the eastern end.
I believe so.
Yeah, I'd have to get the plans and look at them, Commissioner Markham, but that was something that was brought up years ago. to
Yeah,
make that
because
two-way. Yeah.
going
Yeah.
west, there's really no way to do it. Going east, it goes out like University Drive and splits and all that, but going west, it's really kind of a weird little mess in downtown Pontiac, so.
And I feel, from what I understand, there might be some plans with property owners and the city to address that
Okay.
that everyone uses. I don't know where that's at the moment.
It's really a crazy little messy spot down there that, as we're doing this, I think we're gonna wanna remedy at some point, whether it's part of this plan or whatever. I'm just raising it because
if you're interested, I could see if MDOT, the project manager, would come in just as an informational presentation about the loop plans
Yeah.
if you want at some point. I don't know that there's any big hurry or anything.
We would love that. You could coordinate it with Amy, Aaron, whoever's in charge of that. And I also want to make sure that the area Commissioner Markham was referring to is the same that you're noodling around in your brain, just to make sure that you guys are talking about the same space of land. So if you could circle it on the map or something like that, that'd be great, Commissioner.
But
Yes, sir.
you don't get delayed there. I mean, that's where you come in there, see the paint store, the janitorial supply, or, but it doesn't slow you down, but it is.
If you know what you're doing,
you know
it
what you do.
doesn't slow
It
you
doesn't-
down, but if
it
you
doesn't slow me
are
down.
new to the area, it's not.
Yeah, I guess I could see
It's
that.
Or
not
new,
intuitive.
and just don't get
And we're
up
gonna
here
be
much.
driving a lot more people into downtown, right?
Right.
So I just think that's a little hiccup that
Yeah.
it's
it
a
could be at the
remnant of the
municipal
way
level.
things were.
We understand, it could be a more Pontiac municipal level, but at least in the conversation, it's been raised, so, yes, sir.
But then answer this though, on the value and
Right.
when government entities are working together, we're gonna get some goodwill. I mean, the county's gonna be working on its property, the state's gonna be working on the new property. And there'll be a lot of times where engineering comes up or unforeseen stuff comes up and things will work out. I mean, it's a good gesture to waive it. And as a 2-year project, a lot of other issues will come up where, hey, we found this main, we're gonna fix this, we'll deal with the road commission on this, and so.
That's a good thought.
I mean, that's what happens when you got multiple jurisdictions working in the same
Yeah,
general vicinity.
I thought about road commission.
Or
Well,
the water resource commissioner, and things will come up and
DTE perhaps, yeah. Anything else,
so,
Mr.
no.
Whiteford? And Commissioner Long, anything?
No, I'm good.
Alrighty, well, I think we are in a good place to go ahead and prompt the vote.
Markham,
Yes.
Smith Charles.
Yes.
You have 5 yeas, 0 nays.
No, you're not voting.
5 yeas, 0 nays, that motion carries. Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew.
you.
Thank you.
All right, Paul, I think you stay there. Next is item 8B, facilities management. This would be a recommendation to the board, a motion for facilities management joint project agreement modification with the U.S. Department of Commerce for use of office space in Annex 1 building.
I'll move.
Moved by Wypert, supported by Commissioner Markham. And
Thank you.
Paul, and I see Jeannie's online.
Yeah, Jean's online if there's any questions
Welcome.
on that. Again, this is the Department of Commerce renting space in Annex 1. And basically, it's an annual renewal, so we're still in the 2024, although that's coming to an end in several weeks. There'll be a 2025 request coming soon, but in this case, they made a change to add another office space. So we went from 636 square feet to 759 square feet, and then that changed the rent. So really, it's just a one-page modification that sets that in all the legalities for their use of the new space. And that's all.
Alrighty, I see Commissioner Wypert.
And they've come through for years, we've done this, it's come through this committee, and they're the exception, they only will do a 1-year lease at a time.
Yeah,
Is that-
I've been told that that federal department only allows 1-year agreements.
And historically, we let them have the space because they're a good partner with us, but we actually did it just for almost a goodwill. It was we were trading utilities and things, but now we're actually getting rent.
Yeah, we requested rent from them and they are paying, so that's part of that budget, so, and then the.
Historically, it was like an in-kind, we did the fact that they were there was a good thing, and they had a presence on our campus,
Right.
so. Anyway, I don't have any problems with this.
All right, thank you. Anything further on this? Looks like we're ready to prompt the vote then.
Oh, yours came out.
You have 5 days, 0 days?
Thank you,
Thank you, Paul. Keep up the good work.
all righty.
And Jeannie.
We'll be seeing you next month.
Yes.
Got a few more things coming through.
Alrighty, we'll be
Thanks
ready.
again.
Thank you.
Next is item 8C under the regular agenda. This is a recommend and forward to finance. A motion to recommend and forward to finance facilities planning and engineering clarity project and resource management software implementation project. And yes.
No, just gonna move it.
Commissioner Rahman, thank you for moving it, and then supported by Commissioner Markham. It says Jason, I don't see Jason.
He's here, he's standing, I'm wondering if he's waiting for walk-up music or something.
Oh,
yeah.
dun, 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 dun.
Hilarious.
Dun, dun, dun. There, you had to walk up.
We should
music.
implement that for each of
But I
our.
want you to notice my car is charged.
I saw it.
I know, I saw you walking from over that area when I
Yes.
parked, I'm like.
You had me
got
so
it.
confused, Gwen. Someone said Gwen is here. I'm like, but her
No,
car's not
I know,
there.
I saw her walking from over there, so I knew she figured it out.
Yeah.
Did it work
It
well?
worked,
Yeah.
it did.
Thank you for your responsiveness to that.
Yeah.
All right, so Clarity Project and Resource Management Software Implementation Project.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
Yeah, thank you. As you know, and some of you heard yesterday, the Planning and Engineering Group, Capital Design Group, we combine our projects and perform all the project management, construction services, all of the signs around the county, interior, exterior, furniture, building finishes, all of that comes through our group. We oversee over 500 work orders annually for a staff of right now that's about 11 to 12. So the Clarity software is a resource planning and project management software that we're looking to implement to better organize our workflow, how our staff oversee their projects. It will reduce time that it takes to report on projects, track projects, all of that good stuff. So right now we use CityWorks, which will not go away. That's still our work order management software. We use individual seats of Microsoft Project for scheduling. We use Excel files, we use Word documents. We're trying to consolidate all that into one software package. Clarity is a software that has been used in the county by IT for several years. So when we started talking to IT about a software package for us, they worked with their vendor partner to identify something that would be good and specific for facilities management. So that's what we have in front of you today. The project is planned to be funded out of the Information Technologies one-time project funds,
Okay,
which was set aside at some point in the past for projects like this. So
okay, got it.
we're seeking your approval to proceed with the purchase of the software and recommended finance for budget transfers.
Alrighty, thank you. Getting details. Just, Dr. Rahman, floor is yours.
Thank you. Just a quick question. Is this, I know you mentioned one time, with licensing, is there an ongoing subscription fee? Is there something in the future? What does that look
So
like?
the initial implementation includes all of the time and resources for IT to actually implement the software. Moving forward, there is an annual subscription cost for our group, which is in our IT operating budget.
Okay, so that won't have to be a special carve out or anything. We've already planned for that.
It's in the budget amendment,
Yeah.
in the Schedule A. Awesome. I think it's $10,000.
Yeah.
So I was gonna ask, how much?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good question.
Commissioner Whiteford?
This will assist you, I mean, you'll be able to do things a lot more efficient, keep track.
Yeah, it'll help,
You
it'll help.
guys said you're
SBNI.
using Excel and Word and using 5 programs.
Right, everybody will have their own dashboard, if you will, when they log in, they'll see all their projects. Supervisors, managers can see what the staff have, you know, rather than going to individual
Yeah, it's better.
places, which is what we do now, so, yeah.
Are other governments, other businesses, others using this? Is it a known software for industry or business?
I can speak to that if you're interested.
Oh, yes, if you would, that'd be great.
It is a pretty high value industry standard software. Other companies like Ford also use Clarity. And IT has had our Clarity footprint for about 20 years now. So it is a well-known industry standard, highly rated project management, enterprise project management software.
And so not a glitch, wouldn't it, you know, something that, we've got this one and it's the one that doesn't work, right? Okay, good, thank you.
Sorry, just one question I forgot to ask. You mentioned that the old software doesn't go away. It sounds like if this is sort of doing the job, what's the reason for the old one to still exist?
Yeah, so I mentioned CityWorks. CityWorks isn't really a project management software. It's our work order management. So we'll assign all of our work orders through CityWorks still. Everything will continue on that path. What will end up going, Excel won't go away, but the way we use Excel will change. And then we use Microsoft Project as well. But every one of our project managers and project coordinators has their own individual seat.
Okay.
So that can go away. We won't need the individual seats of Microsoft Project anymore. And with that, all of our projects have their own project file, so nothing, it doesn't talk to each other.
Okay.
You know, the projects don't.
So with the little bit of shaving we're doing, is there any cost savings to be had or not really negligible? I mean, if you're talking Microsoft products, I'm sure there's probably not much we're gonna save. I was just curious if there's any ability to recoup some of that on the back end.
There will be a small offset from the project licenses, but
Yeah.
it's more about the improved staff capabilities.
Sure. No, agreed. I'm just
Yeah.
always looking to see if we can pull back some money
Right,
somewhere.
yeah,
So,
we'll
okay.
claw back a little bit from the Microsoft project licenses.
Okay, great, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Let's see. My one question is, at what point in the process do departments say, hey, we might need this different type of software? Do they actually involve you all? Is it whenever they decide, or is there a policy?
We've been moving to a new process, so we used to do the master plan, we're going to an annual planning process. As part of the Clarity upgrade that IT did, we've got this concept of an idea, so our business relationship managers work with the business, they kind of vet the ideas and then we put them into the list. As we're able to you know, kind of prioritize them with the business and free up our resources, we, you know, moving forward, that's kind of how this will happen. But the intent is that sometimes, you know, the businesses or the departments are busy doing their work and there's not as much focus on, I wonder what technology can do for us. So
Right.
either we could come up with an idea or someone comes up with an idea and then we work together to try to fit it in.
Terrific. Yes, Mr. Weinberg.
In this circumstance, where did it initiate? Did you guys say we could use something better and came up with this idea because you knew it, heard it other ways, or did IT, which way did this one go? If anybody, you know, just out of curiosity.
Yeah, it was kind of both. So, you know, as you just heard, IT is very good about meeting with the departments and asking for needs. So we meet with our IT reps, you know, sometimes monthly, but usually quarterly, to talk about projects that we may have, knowing that they do project management and had Clarity. We kind of inquired on that and just to see how it worked. They provided us a couple of demos, just to see if it's something that would fit what we wanted. So we kind of initiated that with IT as an idea and asked them for their recommendations. They were able to provide those.
I'll just add to that quickly too. It's a bit of a repeat of what both Rod and Jason said, but you know, as architects and engineers, we're very familiar with like what software we need to do the architecture and engineering things. So, you know, we may reach out to IT and, you know, say, I'm not sure how we do this, but we need AutoCAD. We need GIS software, right? But in cases like this, or similar, it may be what we're using right now isn't really efficient. We know we need something better, but we're not sure what that is. Please help us get something, whatever you come up with, that will do all of these things that we need to do, A, B, C, D, E, and F.
That's good.
Sounds good to hear.
Well, thank you for that, Jason and team. I will then go ahead and ask for the vote to be prompted. Oh, goodness, it found me.
Mark?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw that. You have 5 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Best with clarity.
Thank you.
And we'll see you at finance apparently.
Yes.
That takes us to item 9 on the agenda, which is our second public comment. Is there anyone here who'd like to address this committee concerning anything under the sun? Seeing no one, I'll go ahead and close public comment. Any other business to come before this committee? Seeing none, this meeting is adjourned.